been our mantra all week with Pioneer Day just days out, how to celebrate the past without being stuck in the past. We have a weekend craft you can whip up to celebrate Utah's heritage. It's our way of sending out good vibes to pioneer ancestors who settled here. Allisen Mathis has a darling pioneer-themed wreath for your front door. It's a design we are just falling all over. It is so cute. What a great way to finish up our week. Tell us what inspired you to pull this together.
Well, I just love ideas that can transition. They're easy. You don't have to go to any really super special trouble. And everything I use was available on Amazon, which is kind of a must for me, or locally, or locally.
Yes. So you've created this wreath, and there's a nod to ancestry in so many ways. First, the shape.
Right. The beehive with the honeycomb. So we're the beehive state, which kind of harkens back to that pioneer spirit of being industrious and hardworking, just like the bee.
And this flower has significance too.
Yes. So the sego lily is the state flower, and I also picked for all the other flowers Utah wildflowers, and that are particularly bee friendly. So I try to, put in layers of meaning there. But like I said, these are they're easy once you kind of get the basis. So I'll show you what we do to kind of get started, and then you'll see how it can transform into all these other flowers.
Okay.
So we start with a strip, which is how I start all my flowers and centers and things. And this fabric is available locally or online. And I'm just going to start, and I'm not going to snip all the way through the strip. I'm going to leave a little bit put together there at the end.
And it's about what, a foot and a half? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter because we're just going to use a small amount of this, and then depending on how many flowers you want to make, you use however much you need. And so you can see that some of these flowers have a wider center, so you'd use a little bit more, or a slimmer center, you'd use less. You can use different colors for the center.
I'm trying to visualize. This is the center we're making,
This is the center, and this is for the sego lily.
Okay.
So we're starting with the center. You just put a little bit of glue carefully.
The detail you put into these flower creations is really amazing. I mean, the shading, I know we'll get to that with the colors inside and the marker effect, but these little fun fringe details stand out too.
Well, it's so fun to, I always like to make it look as realistic as possible, even, acknowledging that it's felt. And
you've probably looked at flowers with a detailed eye that none of us can even relate to. You're like, how can I recreate? Because you've done it so realistically.
Yeah, I try to make them, make you look twice to see that it's fabric.
That it's fake, yeah.
Right. Okay, so there's our center. Came together really quick.
Got it.
And then for the petal, I have another strip, a wider strip. So this is going to be the height of the petal.
And does the weight of the felt matter?
So this is wool felt. It's a little bit bendable. It is going to hold up really well, where the felt that you can get at a usual craft store is synthetic. It's kind of plasticky. It would probably work, but this is my favorite.
Because you've shaped these flowers too. These petals kind of have a curve, a natural curve to them, which speaks to that authenticity you were talking about.
Yeah, make it a little more lively. So I'm just going to come in here, and you can cut 2 petals at once if you do it folded over like this, which is super nice. And it's just kind of this wide teardrop shape.
And sorry, wool felt, can you get that at the fabric store, or?
It's not available somewhere like Joann's or Michael's, but you can get it. There's a store in Sandy, and I will link some of these resources and places people can find things on my Instagram, so it's just easy to find.
Yeah, I'm guessing materials matter for that realistic look.
They do, for the optimal look, but I've found that craft stores have expanded what they carry in terms of colors and quality a little bit, so if that's how you want to do it, and it's just this fun little weekend craft project, that's great too.
Make it work.
That's right. And so speaking of easily available materials, I am going to use the Sharpie. Okay. Which you might not think of for...
I was surprised. I was waiting for an ink pad or maybe some paint, because the way you've brushed on the color and it kind of fades in, the yellow fades into the fuchsia, is really cool.
So it's super simple. I'm just, gonna just kind of brush it on. And you can, I think the key with a craft like this is to make it your own and do it how you think it looks good or how it works for your hands. I don't think you need to do it someone else's way, but that's super quick.
So the darker color goes on first.
That's how I did it.
Yeah, the humble Sharpie here, coming to life before our eyes.
I know, it's like the god of all craft products,
right? Pretty that is. Look how pretty.
So comes together super fast. Yeah. And then we take our center.
Okay.
Our little yellow center. And I'm just gonna take the glue gun, and you can just put this on there if you want to, and it will still look like a good sego lily, but What I did, because when I was looking at pictures of them, they kind of have this little fold.
See, here it comes, the shape. This is where it gets me. The shape and the bend and the curvature.
Yeah.
It's so realistic.
It's kind of fun to add those little touches, but if you're not super crafty and you just want to do the basic version of this, you can scale it to your abilities.
Green light. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Speaking to all of the underachievers out there, which oftentimes I find myself in that pile, but okay.
Well, it's intimidating to try something new, and I think that makes it a little more accessible. So you're going to put those around, and it's just a 3-petal flower.
Okay.
So super easy, like the Sego Lily wreath up here in the front.
Uh-huh.
I made all of those in, I think, under an hour, and I do it a lot, so my hands are
Your fingers are fast.
a little bit dexterous about it, but I think even for a beginner, it's
Tell us
accessible.
about the structure of the wreath. What is this exactly?
So I just got on Amazon, as I do a lot.
You're an Amazon Prime girl, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And these are just paver molds that you would pour cement into, but I thought it's a honeycomb. It's like a great little size for a wreath.
It's perfect. Now, I don't pave. Do they come attached like this, or did you? Okay.
Nope, it just comes
Comes
like that.
this.
And
It's like it was meant to be a honeycomb wreath.
I know, it's maybe better for that than pavers. And then these little hexagons too, were just from Amazon, and I thought they just kind of added a little pop and kind of that natural texture with the wood. Makes it feel a little bit earthy and natural, and feels like,
It feels like it's supposed to be just
for the
as
bees.
it is. It's perfect. It's perfect. And I love that it's sometimes hard, I think, to tap into those memorable, meaningful, pioneer-type themes, and you've done it in such a fresh, modern way. So the Utah Wildflower is kind of another extension of this project, and I know you've got other project ideas and inspiration, and you sell your flowers, too, online.
I do, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Golden Afternoon Shop. And I have a link to my shop from there, and I have, like you said, I'll have a link to materials and sources and all those things, so people can pick this up and do it over the weekend in time for the holiday.
I haven't said this yet. Happy Pioneer Day.
Thank you.
We're coming up on it. It feels about time. Thank you, Allisen.
Thank you.
Really creative. We love it.